Hey, hey, hey.
Hey, it's the Green Day.
It's a green
Yeah.
day. What's good?
What's good? How are you?
I'm well. I mean, today's Suge's 11th birthday, so a
Hey,
nice we had a nice little day. The park, raising Cane's favorite. He had a nice huge cookie. We had a great day. And then just picked up the Tilly monster from daycare, and now it's showtime, right?
Showtime. Let's go. And St. Patrick's Day to your Irish heritage. It's Irish Day for you.
Yes.
I
You
wore a
didn't know
little
my
green.
last name is Ferris. Oh, my last name is Ferris, which is because of my father, the half Irish side of my life and my family. So yeah, I know you can't tell, but I am half Irish. The other half of me obviously is Japanese and Asian American. So it's one of those days today where there was a significant event that happened yesterday in Georgia, and I don't know what else needs to be said, but stop Asian hate. You stand united. I mean, black, Asians, whites, this whole racism thing is just too much, and it's a lot for everybody. I'm scared for people that I know that look like me in other places. I mean, my mother, everybody, my family members that are in rural areas like Montana and Idaho and in Utah. I mean, you just don't know what's going to happen. Like, this is some stuff that happens in Georgia, and it can happen anywhere. So I just want everybody to be safe. And if you see hate crimes, please report them. Step in if you can, if it's safe. And let's keep each other safe, and let's just stand with each other.
Yeah.
Yeah. Shout out to my girl Gwen in Seattle, who finally catching the show. Love it. Thank you. We love that. We love that. But yeah, so it is St. Patrick's Day. This is the second St. Patrick's Day in a row that people haven't been able to be out drinking and going crazy. I know I've seen some people post about it. So I know I've had my time during St. Patrick's Day. I don't know about you, Mo. I mean, your St. Patrick's Day routine, has it been any different than usual?
No, it hasn't. And the thing of it is I don't even know if Chicago is doing the green water like they did, the Green River like they did. They didn't do it last year, and then they didn't do it this year. And then in Vegas, we had Fitzgerald's Casino would always look like that, or O'Shea's, or these Irish themed casinos that are no longer here in the city. And that used to be back in the day the spot to go to for celebration. But I don't know what they're doing in the city. I haven't really watched any news to say, oh, they do have plans, because I know we're now 50% capacity, right? So
Yes.
things going on. I'm sure some bars with the tournaments and with the games on today, I'm sure there's some St. Patty's action going on.
Oh, I'm sure there's been some stuff happening. I just don't think it's like the usual where everybody's out there doing the most, unless you live in like Texas or Florida or Georgia, I'm assuming.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen an uptick in tourism, at least for me. It's been getting back to looking like, oh my God, we got people here. And so it probably isn't as grand as Texas or Mississippi or any of those places, or Florida,
Right.
but
Right.
the spring breakers are coming. And then I saw on the news they had announced that the construction show is coming in June. The first trade show is coming back, the concrete show. Sorry.
Oh, really?
Yeah, in June. So we're probably going to be by summer fully open. I hope with the mask, still mandate, but I think, it's looking like if he's at 50%, no telling what June's going to be. So.
Yeah, well, and how is it at work? Talk a little bit about work right now, because I know there's a big promotion. So if anyone's watching and they love their Nordstroms,
The plug, they're not paying us right now, but I'll go ahead and plug myself. What's up,
Yeah.
Nate? What's up, JC? What I'll say is Nordstrom is offering, if you have a credit card or your telephone number, because it's Nordy Club, if it's just your telephone number and you make a purchase with us, it's 5 reward points for every dollar you spend, or $10 for every dollar you spend if you have a credit card. And what that means is you get these bonus note reward incentives. So it's like a coupon. So depending on the amount of points you spend, they times it by a certain amount, and you get allocated a note in $20 denominations. So it can be $20, $40, $60, and so forth. So we're offering that right now. Shout out to my beauty team, though. I will plug my beauty team over there at Nordstrom. They blessed me with this Christian Dior lip glossomer.
Ooh.
I tried it. It's on my lips. I don't know if you can see it.
Yeah.
I kind of like it. It's a nice little pink. It goes on real light. So Yeah, that's my plug for the day. But anybody that's listening, that's my clients or anything like that, yeah, come see me this weekend. I'll be there.
Or get on your styles page, your styles Instagram.
I was just about to say it. Be sure to follow mo_styles_you. That's my style page on Instagram. And I can always virtually sell to you guys. Everybody got their stimmy money. Everybody.
Not everybody.
People are out here because their stimmy money hit. So I know you're not doing the right thing. And I'm not going to tell, be judging. But if you want to spend it on shopping, go for it. But just hit me up.
Do what you got to do. Do what you got to do.
I hope you spend that stimmy wisely. You may blow your whole wad up in the store, but guess what?
I love it. I love it. And also, before we get started, let's just say thank you to our sponsor for this month, Box Out Clothing. They're repping out there in the DMV, PG County. You can find them at www.boxout1co.com. Find them on Instagram, Twitter. Check them out. We usually tag them in our posts, so make sure to check them out. We appreciate the support. Man, we could have had them make us some St. Patrick's Day shirts had we thought about it,
but that's okay. We'll get a better type of shirt because I usually don't wear green like that. Green is usually not
Gwen loves the Dior No. 2 as well. Lip gloss. Yes. Hey Tasha, what's good in Houston? Hopefully you're being safe out there in Texas.
I don't know what Tasha thinks when we talk about Desean Watson too. I need to know if she can join the chat. Let us know.
Yes, please. Yes. We'll just get into it then because there are some hot topics.
Yeah.
One of them
out real quick, that Coming to America movie at the end of it all. And also I just got a buzz from, shout out to Andre Wade, that the first Black trans woman is now appearing on the cover of Sports Illustrated magazine for the swimsuit issue. So we'll get into that too.
Oh, good. Let's hear it. Yeah, that's going to be a good one. I'm going to guess that Tasha's not so happy with what's going on right now. It's too much. It's too much. So we'll just get into it with Desean Watson because as of on Tuesday, there was a civil suit filed against him by a massage person who I guess does massages from her home, which is typical, I'm guessing, due to COVID right now in some of the places where you live. But apparently this incident happened on like the 30th of March. She felt that he was inappropriate with her in her home. There was some kind of, I didn't read all of it, but there's something in regards to him only having a small hand towel on himself when she came back in the room, and that possibly a part of him had rubbed against her. I'm keeping this as good as PG-13 as I can. And so that's a hot discussion. It's also a hot discussion because right now Desean Watson wants to leave Texas. He's looking for a new team to play with. And does this all play a factor in him being able to get out of Houston? If these allegations are true, what does that mean for Desean Watson, period? And the timing. I mean,
well, let's talk about the timing. I find it very interesting that this comes up with a guy who doesn't want to be in a state. I almost think this, because from what he's been tweeting, and the Twitter community, shout out to all of them because we've been keeping tabs on this since last night. They are already, the alleged victim is already asking for settlement to let it go away.
Of course.
He's not willing to pay the settlement because he swears he did nothing and he's willing to go to trial. So with me going with that kind of his attitude towards it, I feel like, and I don't want to speculate and I don't want to start any rumors, but my third eye is just kind of low-key telling me that this sounds like some kind of setup.
And here's the deal. We definitely want to make sure that women know that when things happen like this, report them, press charges, make it be a point to make sure that these don't happen to other women out there.
Absolutely.
But we also know the amount of people that make fake allegations or false allegations to get that person or that what they're doing in trouble. And so I think we still don't have enough information to really go off of, but it was surprising that, of course, there was already like a settlement offer, which means someone's trying to get paid right now under the table. And if he's saying no, hey, let's go for it. My only curiosity was when some of the media reported there was some text messages between them. Of course, if that's his masseuse, of course they're going to have messages between each other, but I'm wondering what those messages entail and if we'll see full conversations versus just edited ones, where it's just showing hot, juicy, text here. They're not the full conversation of what's going on.
Yeah, and I'm not saying it's a setup by her. I'm thinking it's more of a setup by his team.
Or somebody has paid this woman or got this woman to do it,
Something is going on within this organization and probably with the corporation of NFL. And again, I'm not trying to spread any rumors or any, this is just me just saying my opinion and some speculative. It's just a weird timing situation. And to your point, I'm a big advocate of any kind of sexual assault or anything that is wrong. It's totally egregious. It's not right. And we need to protect all of our women. However, this man is really pleading for his life and he's a young person who's pleading with his life, saying, I did not do these things and I'm not about to pay out anything and I'm willing to go to trial to clear my name, in quotes. That tells me that something is going on with this organization or league to deter him from, it's like, hey, pay the settlement money and you can stay and play with us, or we'll let you go. Pay the settlement money or you can leave and go to another team, And I think because he's in this lockdown situation with Houston, there is some trickery is going on. I just want to sit back, drink my little cup and see what happens and unfolds. And to your point with the text messages, I'd be quite curious to see what those messages entail too, because if it does prove some kind of guilt to him, then that's going to be crazy. But to me, it's a little weird. I don't like this. I'm already kind of upset as we get into talking to football. I may not even be in football this season after everything that's going on with my team.
We'll get to your team too. We'll get to your team too.
Yeah, I may have to sign a 1-year contract to another team.
Listen, I mean, the thing is it's, we want to take all allegations seriously, but we also need to look at the timing and what's happening. And at the same time as if this happened on March 30th, is he really trying to, put his career in jeopardy by doing this right during the turmoil? And that you're about trying to get out of the city and you're trying to change teams. You're not going to pull some kind of stunt like that. I would hope. I mean, yeah.
I would hope. And this is a year ago because we haven't even hit the 30th of this year. So this is something that just now out of the blue wants to come up. I find it very strange. I just think this scenario.
No, I think it was, March 30th I was thinking that this was
not even the 30th of this year. So again.
Why now?
This is weird. Not now, because we're only on the 17th. Yeah. It's very strange. I don't know. Let's move on. Because like I said, it does sound very sus. Very sus.
We all know that sometimes it takes women time to process, to, try and get things under. And I understand that.
It could be
But the timing, I was thinking like, this just happened. Like I'm thinking February or like it was March 30th. And I'm thinking we're in April already, of course. But yeah, so a whole year has transpired and now.
It could be eons. I mean, I'm watching Woody and Mia's documentary. This was years ago and stuff that's going on. But again, I find the timing very interesting with the position that he's in with Houston. Like something, it's very interesting. Hi, Beth, out of Seattle.
Hey.
My girl Beth up in Seatown.
Yes.
For you with the Seahawks gear. I hope
Seahawks. I also got my Golden Knights hat, and if you notice, it actually even came with a little 4-leaf clover.
I like the green. Okay.
Thanks. Well, since we got someone in Seattle in the house, we might as well discuss this hot topic of Russell Wilson. Because, so here's the deal. Chicago was ready to give them all of Chicago to get Russell Wilson.
Firstborn, pretty much.
Yeah, pretty much. You get your firstborn, you can get the keys of the city, you basically get the whole waterfront property. Anything that you want, we're giving it to you.
Absolutely.
They offered 3 first-round draft picks, a third round, 2 starters.
Mac included in that starting line. Yep.
And, it sounded like Schneider was kind of taking the call, listening, and Pete put his foot down and was like, well, suppose Pete put his foot down and was like, I'm not trading, this is not happening. So now we're coming to the situation where, yes, Russell can still get traded, but if Chicago is willing to give up all of that and still a no-go, what team is going to outdo that now?
Yeah, and poor Chicago, because I promised my friends, shout out to Ken and Dee, who are from Chicago, that I would give a little rant. Hey, Natalie, happy
Nat.
Patties. they're upset because the consolation to all of this push was Andy
with
Dalton.
Andy Dalton.
Andy
Who they
Dalton.
could have got last year too, but they
Andy
didn't.
Dalton. So Mitch Trubisky's leaving, and then you have Andy Dalton and you have Nick Foles. And it's like you wonder if it was I see, and I thought it was Ryan Pace. I thought it was their GM that messed something up. I thought Matt Nagy had messed something up. But what you're telling me right now, that makes sense. I knew, and I thought about it, I said, I bet you it's Pete Carroll. I bet you it's Pete Carroll. And to my point of that is, I feel bad for the Chicago Bears fans because now they have to deal with a 1-year deal with Andy Dalton. Now, saying that, if Russell does not leave, he will leave next season. And he probably will be a better offer for him to come to the Bears that way.
Well, the thing too is if he doesn't leave, I mean, the thing is if he ends up staying, he's got they got a whole issue with how's the locker room temperature now, because you've dogged out your team. You started all this mayhem in the course of the off season, and now you got to go back in the locker room and face half these or most of these people that you've basically been like ready to turn away from. Not to mention, I think this could be Pete's last year. If Pete can't make it happen or change something or make adjustments, well, I think Pete will be gone before Russell is gone.
Well, he needs to be gone because here's the ballistics with your guys' conference or division. You got the NFC West with a healthy San Francisco coming back with newly acquired
the Cardinals.
Cardinals are fully loaded. And I don't even want to go there because they just took our top O-line pro guy, Rodney Hudson, to go over there. And I'm just mad at all of this right now. And then they're loaded. So you've got them, and then you've got the Rams, and then you've got you guys. And it's just going to be an interesting, tough division to try to play in. And I don't know what Matt Stafford's going to do with these Rams. I don't know. But the thing of it is, it's still going to look very interesting on how all this plays out, because that's a make or break for you guys this season. If you can't even make it to a wild card, you're done. Russell will probably leave. And that's why I say his leverage will probably be a little bit better to go. But yeah, to your point, Pete Carroll could go. I feel like he should have been gone during that Super Bowl. To me, that was a fireable offense within itself. Then you guys lost Shaquille Griffin. Then you got Chris Carson, who's still wanting to be traded. Like, he's on the free agency. So where's he going to go? What are you guys looking like for your future on that?
Well, my hope is if Chris Carson does leave, because there's still this Leonard Fournette situation that's out there.
And they're already talking about him going to another team too, but Bucks may pay him and keep him.
Right. And so there's still a couple options, but I wouldn't mind a Leonard Fournette coming to Seattle. I know we just picked up 1-year-old offensive line as well.
Yes.
We just got him. We also got the tight end Everett from the Rams. We got the cornerback from, I think it was the Rams too, or maybe it was from the Niners. We got the cornerback from the Niners, who was going to be replacing Shaquille Griffin. But yeah, what's funny is that a lot of these changes, especially in the NFC West, are happening within the division. So like we're getting Niners and Rams. I mean, pretty soon, like there's going to need to be a whole new book of plays because there's so much happening within our division. I was just happy. I'm happy for Shaquille Griffin. I'm happy for his brother Shaquem, who I believe is also going over to the Jags with him. Mm-hmm. I'll still rock my Shaquem jersey. I love the Griffin brothers, but we weren't going to pay no $44 million for Shaquille Griffin, and that's what we got with the Jags. So get your money, get your bag. But he wasn't going to get that money with Seattle, and we weren't going to pay him that. So, it's going to be interesting. I think we definitely need to keep on targeting offensive line for Russ to make sure that he is happy. But the same fact is we picked up Everett, who I like as a tight end and as a one that we can fit in within our budget. But at the same time, as Seattle's good for going into the draft and picking up 3 tight ends that we don't need, minus we still have Disley. We still have we still have all these other tight ends still in our lineup, but hopefully something pans out and it works. Yeah, next season is definitely going to be crazy.
Yeah, it's going to be Beth. And the thing of it is you guys aren't getting Leonard Fournette. Let's just cancel that because Leonard Fournette's being shopped at other teams, and New England's actually looking at Leonard Fournette too. They're not done, even though as loaded as they are. But I think the Bucks are going to probably pay him his money and keep him. They got to. That's the only thing. Hi.
Hey, Mama. Happy St. Patty's Day.
First is on. Love it.
And so that leads us to the next point with the Patriots have literally dished out dough. Within the first 2 days of the free agency, they spent like $145 million.
But are you surprised by that after the treatment of last season and how Tom Brady basically made them look like?
No, I'm not surprised, but I think everybody, including Patriot fans, are surprised because in the last 10 years, the Patriots haven't even spent more than $400 million yet. In the first 2 days, they'd already wiped out $150 million, basically.
Because they got embarrassed, Melissa.
Well, and they need somebody. If Cam's going to stay there, whoever they have continuing, they've got to make sure they got somebody for him to throw to and for it to play. It's just, it's ridiculous.
They have to. They got literally embarrassed and sunned last season. This was a bold, aggressive move by Belichick. I ain't mad at him for it. I'm looking, this is the Patriots that we need to see. We need to see what's going to happen with them. I was reading everything, even for the point of LeBron tweeting, Belichick ain't playing no games. No, he's not. Because
he's not.
Sunned and embarrassed last season, seeing his old quarterback go and pretty much take over the whole league and win a Super Bowl on top of that, his 7th win, when they didn't think he could do it.
Our resident Tom lover is in the house. Of course, she's saying that Cam needs to learn how to throw first. And of course, Tom makes learners. Well, here's the deal, Natalie. Now that Tom is signed again, you can no longer wear a Patriots jersey. You now officially.
You a fan of the Patriots or you a fan of Tom? Like, I need to know, and I need you to pick immediately. Because you're either going to ride with this team loaded or you're not. You might as well get that Brady Buck jersey and call it a day.
Right, exactly.
Yeah. Decision. You got time though, girl. You got a few months.
And I know Nate mentioned Carson staying healthy, but here's the deal: our running backs will never stay healthy if we don't have an offensive line.
Right, and he's in the team,
and he's not.
And he's not staying.
And we still have our other draft, the first round draft pick, who we still have in Penny. Richard. I mean, we saw him for a couple games. He's been gone. It's a hard time right now. Hard time.
Yeah. So my Raiders decided to make some moves too. And
did they make any moves in? Did they bring anybody in?
I mean, we got Yannick Naguki or whatever his name is for 2 years. $. That's fine. Whatever. But the announcement came with the Bears getting hit with devastation of being the bad news Bears with their push for Russell that just blew up in their faces by settling with this freaking guy from Dallas. We get to lose Rodney Hudson.
And that's big because
top offensive line centers, Pro Bowler, going to the Cardinals. And Rodney could have wanted out. I'm hearing rumors that possibly he could have wanted out. I don't think it was working for that reason. If he wanted out, then I can't be too mad. But I'm mad at the organization for not making him want to stay. And now we're looking at possibly Andre James to replace him as the center on that line. And they're saying that he looks good and he's young and he can do some things. But the slap in the face is Rodney Hudson going to the Cardinals.
Well, and here's the deal. How bad is it when you have a brand new stadium, a brand new practice facility, and yet you still want to leave town? Like, you are ready to hop on anything out of here. Like, that's not good.
Got rid of Richie Incognito and then just re-signed him back today. So it's like you're backpedaling. And then on top of that, not to mention, you're not gaining any cap space with Rodney gone. You're actually losing. So our cap gets lowered by a few million because he left this season. If he had left the following season, it would have lowered. We would have been in debt even more on our cap. But nonetheless, we got some defensive people coming. We got Solomon Thomas. We got, Quentin Jefferson. Who else did we get? Oh, Zay Jones re-signed, our wide receiver. I like Zay Jones. We'll take that.
Okay. But then you got rid of Nelson Aguilar too.
Yeah, Nelson Aguilar is going to the Patriots. That's right. He's going to the Patriots. So we don't have Nelson Aguilar, but we still got HR3. We're still good on that end. I think it's more of a defensive thing we need. The biggest slap in the face, like I said, is the Rodney Hudson thing. That's just making me not want to even be a Raider this season, to be honest with you. I feel like I need to just maybe focus on learning how to play Madden this season and see all the game and then work on and talk that on the show rather than talk about this team, because it's always something with this team. It's always something. And at the same time, we still have Mariota. And I honestly thought Mariota would have got shopped to go to Chicago. Like, that would have been the move. I would have never would have taken this guy that they got now. Like, that to me would have been a no-go. He could have stayed in Dallas and just sat on the bench if he wanted to. I would have never gotten a lateral player like this because they really assumed that they really thought they were going to get Russell Wilson. And that's wrong. I mean,
because they were going to give him the whole bank, like, here.
Dude, he was getting everything, and I don't even get explicit. He was going to get everything, but everything. He was going to get it all.
Everything.
He was going to.
You might as well call it like a Sugar Wilson. Sugar Wilson. You're welcome to Sugar Wilson.
He's going to get everything.
Yeah.
Everything.
Shout out to Jose. Hey, if you guys are Las Vegas Lights fans, you make sure to stay tuned to Jose Volante's show, Straight Bet Sports, later on at 9:00, because he's going to have Brett Lashberger from the Lights. Well, I guess are we the LAFC now or something?
Yeah, LAFC now.
That's why I got to stay tuned. But yeah.
Well, they're part of the LAFC division, but for the Lights. Yeah. That should be
And shout out to Alicia Gibbs for tuning in too. I appreciate it.
I will say on a lighter side to this whole Raiders debacle, they are offering tours of the stadium. Some people have their picks to the stadium and the tour and being on the field. It's a limited kind of occupancy thing of going on these tours, but they are online. But again, I don't care because people with PSLs are wanting to sell them now. And I'm sure people are ready to grab those. And Raider Nation is not happy with this. We are not happy. We're not. And that's why I'm saying maybe I need to sign a 1 year to something. Maybe I'll sign a 1 year to play in Madden or something for the year and then just figure it out. Because I don't like this space that I'm in.
You can always hang out over here in Seattle, you know.
That makes our line. To go to the Arizona Cardinals that's about to be loaded in the NFC West and make it challenging for every team on that division.
It's going to be... Arizona is going to come swinging, and that could make Kyle Murray have one of his best seasons. So for all the fantasy players out there, Kyle Murray may be one of the top picks, if not a sleeper, to get, because it's going to be insane.
Now, dare I say, in my division, I'm worried about even more so. I'm now worried about the Chargers because you got a Justin Herbert out there and a new coach and new whole different system, and that could take us out in the division too. And then what match are we going to be for Kansas City? We going to be Kansas in the season,
right?
How's that possible? I don't know.
So much to go off
and
of. So much
fans that are willing to sign 1 year deals with Green Bay Packers in this thing too, because they're not happy with the whole situation that's going on right now.
And that says a lot because, you know, Bears fans and Packers fans do not get along.
No, that says a whole lot. I'm not even telling you who wants to do that, but it's crazy. I'm about to run out and get an Aaron Rodgers jersey.
Man.
Like, this is ridiculous.
Anyway, so needless to say, NFL has been a free agency frenzy so far. It has been nonstop since it started. Yesterday, day before? And we still got people that are out there, though. I mean, you still got Juju is still out there. Curtis Samuel. Galladay hasn't got picked up yet, but I think there was talks about it. Will Fuller, Antonio Brown, Malcolm Butler, Jadeveon Clowney's still out there if somebody needs him too. It's just so much. And then the Texans, of course, signed Tyrod Taylor to a year contract. So if nothing else,
I saw that.
I guess they have him.
The Saints, because Drew Brees announces his retirement, you sign Taysom Hill, re-sign him with this big old contract. Why?
Yeah.
But they're keeping Jameis. They didn't announce if he's starting or not. But they're keeping Jameis.
Yeah. Well, and then Taysom Hill got that huge contract.
Who?
Taysom Hill.
Yeah, why? I need Saints fans to chime in because Saints are my second team. I'm not even signing.
I mean, 140 million.
Yeah, I don't understand it.
Maybe he's getting a little bit for every position that he can play.
I don't understand it.
That'd be my only one. I guess we got another. Shout out to Box Out. So Curtis Samuel did sign with Washington. See, this is how fast it's going. When I'm typing my notes and saying things, it's before I can even make a note. So
he's going to go over there and play with Fitzpatrick because Ryan Fitzpatrick's over there. Jacoby Brissett went down to Miami. I mean, this is just a whole – and these 1 year – and then, like I said, Minshew wants out with Jaguars. He's getting shopped now. So people
have been looking at him.
People have been looking at him too. And then we had Kyle Long come visit Raider Nation, and he chose the option of going to Kansas City. So he came and visited us in Vegas. And now they just announced, oh, no, he decided he's going to go with KC. He's shopping us and KC. So he even saw the writing on the wall, even though it's Kyle Long on the other side. He's older, but still. Now, we did, as the Raiders, I meant to mention, we got Donald Penn back to retire with us.
That's right.
Active player on the signing, but he is, he's always been a Raider for us out of the Bay. But he's signed his papers to retire with Raider Nation. So cool, but I don't care now. Rodney Hudson.
So much.
Rodney Hudson's gone. I need to talk to Harry and some other people. I just.
It's a lot. Yeah, that's.
Talk about it. It's just so bad. And the Twitter was just going off. Like, why? Who thought this was a good idea? I mean, it must have been Rodney had to leave. Maybe he had to. I just need to get to the bottom of it some kind of way.
Well, let's segue a little bit into some basketball, because there's also a trade just popped up today where PJ Tucker is headed to the Milwaukee Bucks. The impact of that to Milwaukee right now. I mean, the Rockets are clearing house, period. Like, they're just, I think, done with the season.
Not to mention Milwaukee beat Philly tonight. So they just won their game tonight.
Wow.
They just won tonight.
Oh my gosh. It's too much. But then, and then there was talks of Trevor Ariza being gone. I don't think that's been happened yet that I know of yet, because things seem to change overnight. But earlier today he had not. But he was. They were trying to trade to the Heat. Mm-hmm. So I don't know,
or whatever.
What was that?
Because of Myers Leonard, right? Because of that whole situation. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're trying to leak for what he said. Yeah. I get
but
that.
Some kudos right now for LeBron James. I mean, this guy off court making huge moves. Yep. So he actually joined up with I think it's the Fenway Sports Group. So now part owner of the Boston Red Sox, part owner of Liverpool FC, Rouge Fenway Racing. And it's only him and his partner are the only two African Americans in this group. That's big.
Yeah, well, you know what he's trying to do. He wants to essentially own a team, and in order to have the capital, because I think his group right now is only estimated $7 billion with all of those combined. Only, and that's not enough. You know that, because you got to pay. So this is just a stepping stone to get him to where his ultimate goal of owning sole ownership and not minority ownership of a professional team. So I'm all about it. You know, LeBron. My eyes on court or off the court. I turn this way when you guys try to get on LeBron. I don't see nothing because he's a Laker now. I'm one of those.
When the flopping happens, you turn the other way.
Hey, you just slipped and fell on a banana peel. I saw that banana come out like out of nowhere. You know what I mean? But off court, he's just stellar. He's amazing. He's very outspoken. He's vocal to everything. He sent out an amazing tweet about the incidents that occurred in Atlanta last night. He's very aware and awoke, and he's not letting down on any social advocacy that he can do to promote harmony in this country, which we need, and unity. So I love the guy. And I think this is a great major money move. I see what's happening. He's collecting balances and trying to get his numbers up and his math up so he can write that check to get a whole ownership team. So
that's major. Another thing I think is going to be great is that apparently there's a lot of eyes and ears open to Juan Howard coaching for the NBA next year. He coaches for Michigan. He's coaching for Michigan right now, and I think were one of the top seeds for March Madness. Right. And because I think of all the coaching vacancies that are happening for the NBA by next year, apparently a lot of eyes are on him, which would be great. It would be great to see him as a head coach, I think, for the league.
I think he should stay to college and come to UNLV since we lost TJ Otzelberger to Iowa.
I think UNLV's program needs to show that they're able to handle.
We can't even move into a Pac-12 conference because, for one, we don't have the admissions attendance to do so, and we're not that big of a school to do it. But the fact that this man is leaving after a 2-year sorry stint with the UNLV Rebels, and I hate that we're going into this conversation, but you flew in off of a helicopter. They had the red carpet for you out and all this band and fanfare.
New training facility.
And you're going to a debt-ridden Iowa that is in the hole for money. So not only will you have to pay UNLV back the difference of your huge $1 million contract, your millions of dollars contract, but then Iowa on the back end either has to pay UNLV back for that debt or they pay you, but they have no money either because they've been in debt due to COVID. And they lost, I think, approximately $18 million in their athletic program this past year because of COVID. So it's like, what are we doing here, fam? What's going on? But I say peace. Vioca Dios. I don't care. It's crazy that we get coaches that come into UNLV and they stay for a short stint and we can't stick. And I don't know what's going on, but I will segue and shout out real quick to the women's, the swimming and diving team because they are the champions this year.
What?
Yes. The cheerleading squad are champions in this in our. Now we have a swim team. We have the women's basketball team. Hey, I'm keeping my eyes on Lindy and the girls.
Yes.
Guys, forget about it. The recruiting is already terrible. I mean, with the new facility, you still can't entertain these guys after 10 o'clock. So I don't understand what's going to happen.
You can't even keep these local guys that are coming out of Las Vegas that are balling to stay in UNLV.
No, you can't. So I don't know what needs to happen. I need maybe a familiar face in coaching needs to happen. We've had these conversations before. I really just don't. And again, Iowa hasn't committed yet to TJ, but the offer is out there, and I think he's going that way. So
wow.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. But quick change back to your Lakers. So I just read that AD is still out and could possibly be out for even longer. How has that affected? Because I haven't watched basketball this week much. How has that affected your guys' Lakers playing? And do you care that he's out this long still?
I care that he's out, but I think he's going to come right when it's time for playoff season, and that's when we'll need him the most because we are going to make it to a playoff contention. Right now, my Lakers are still in the number 3 spot, but we just beat Golden State the other night. We had 2 back-to-back games, so we won last night and we won tonight. I mean, the night before with Golden State, or was that Monday? Sunday and Monday we had games. So we're sitting in a high position. We're still above 600. We'll take it. And with Dennis Schroeder out there and Kyle Kuzma elevating his game and Montrezl Harrell coming off the bench being a monster, and you got LeBron doing 2 back-to-back days of triple doubles. The old man killed it, And so to have him out there still facilitating, being floor general, I think we're okay for right now. We definitely will need AD in the postseason. Why Andre Drummond is still sitting in Cleveland and we're not, and everybody's trying to get him and he's not moving. And I don't know if Cleveland's not trying to give, I don't know what's going on with that, but I feel like we need another big. And I know for a fact Lakers had shot PJ Tucker at one point thinking he would come over to that. And I wasn't mad at that, but we of course didn't get him. But I think our Lakers are going to be just fine. So Utah got owned the other night by Golden State. Golden State gave everything they had in that game. So I knew, and my mom even told me, she says, Mo, they're going to be gassed on Sunday to play your Lakers. Trust me, because they just did a back-to-back. I mean, they just did the night before with Utah, gave everything they had. And sure enough, she was right. So
go ahead, Mrs. Threats.
Yes. So that was a coup on our behalf. But even last night with LeBron doing a triple-double, I mean, hey, my Lakers we're going to be just fine. I'm very curious about these other teams in this Western Conference when it comes down to playoff, how they're going to fare. Is Utah going to keep this number 1 spot? Right. Is that going to mean something when it comes to playoffs? I don't know, because Golden State just shot their lights out the other night, and that was a high-scoring game on both teams. Like, I don't know what happened there. I don't know if Draymond just came in. Draymond is very good at setting up great screens, tremendous screens with them. I don't know, but I think my Lakers will be fine. To your point, to your question, my Lakers, I'm not worried. I know
you're not worried. I mean, we know they're going to make the playoffs.
They just announced for Brooklyn that.
Yeah, I saw that.
They went and got Blake Griffin. Like, that means nothing to me. That matters not, because again, we've got to look at how everything's going to play out come postseason and playoff divisions, because they have no leadership on their teams. I feel like the teams that have a core leadership are the ones that are going to be successful for it.
Yeah.
And Phoenix is looking nice. We still got Phoenix out there looking nice. And can I say Dame Dollar is that guy? 50 points.
Yo, the Phoenix City as teams are coming together here right now. Like, Phoenix has something to stand up for.
They do. And I got to give it to Monty Williams. I mean, he's doing a tremendous job with that organization, with that team. I mean, it's great. Okay, Juan.
Do you see his subliminal messages here?
That's Quan 5'9", Gorilla Cross Radio.
We love Quan. Quan. And we'll keep the green for you. I'll bring you this green Seahawks shirt because I know you love it so much. Yep. I'm surprised you don't like my green Golden Knights hat though, Quan. Come on now. Jeez.
And I keep saying that our Lakers will be fine. I just want to hear it in the car.
I mean, we know they're going to make it to the playoffs, but I was surprised that they were still they were 5th in the league now, which I know is nothing major for them, but it's like, I thought Lakers were in that 1, 2, 3, and now we've moved it on down.
So. We are, and it did hurt us when we had AD and Dennis Schroeder out, because that's what took our slump out. But now that we have Schroeder back, and like I said, Kyle Kuzma has elevated his game, and Montrezl Harrell is putting up 20 boards. and being defensive coming off the bench. And Alex Caruso is back and he's trying to do something. I think we're going to be nice.
Is it just me or did Kuzma he seems like he got bigger, like he's more built, like he's more solid.
Do you know his frame is kind of almost Dwight Howard-esque?
Yeah.
Former Dwight Howard with the shoulders. And
I was like, did Kuzma just like grow up on us real quick?
He's looking really good. Winnie's man is looking nice and spicy. Now his outfit choices are very interesting. Yeah, and we'll be in the finals. Thank you, Juan. His outfit choices are interesting when he walks through the tunnel for pregame. I'm seeing a lot of great messenger bags and duffels and stuff, and I'm seeing a lot of different color coordinations, and he's actually got his hair in a more subtle neutral tone, and it's not blonde anymore. But the man's been balling. He's actually figured out his game, and it's working for him. Now, I will say, even with you guys and the Bulls, they have made different position moves. Kobe White is now coming off the bench. Wendell Carter Jr. is now coming off the bench. Zach LaVine is still going to stay starting. You're going to have Otto Porter Jr. come up in the starting ranks. So I'm curious to see what that's going to be for you guys, because the Eastern
we're trying to make this push now because we're literally half a game back from 8th place. We need to get those playoffs into those playoffs. And I think they deserve it. They deserve it.
They do. And I think they will. However, it'll be a first round of playoffs, possibly. And I still hold to, and I hate to tell you this, I still think Zach LaVine, if he does not get any, kind of anything from this team, he's got to go. He needs to go where a team is going to.
Or they need to take some of this money and just go get someone to help him. They need somebody else.
Not gonna do that.
I know someone's got to make a change. Somebody has to be like, listen, if the Bears are going to suck it here another year, at least let's pull it through for our Bulls.
Still got Cubs and White Sox, yo. Even though my Dodgers beat them to the White Sox today in the spring training, but still got Cubs and White Sox. I mean, they got chances. Poor Bears. I'm telling you, I listened to my friends all into the wee hours last night going off. I almost was falling asleep on them because I understood, but they were really upset about this.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Just want to shout out once again to our sponsor, Box Out Clothing. You can find them at www.boxout1co.com. Repping from the PG County in the DMV area. Make sure to check them out. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Holla at them,
Yeah. Holler at them.
Speaking of spring training.
Yeah. How was your trip? Let's go. Let's get into it.
So I got to go to Phoenix this weekend, which was amazing. Well, it was raining because when I left here, it was raining really hard in Vegas on Friday. Got to Phoenix, it was raining. Saturday, it rained off and on. I'd already had tickets for the Mariners versus the Diamondbacks game on Monday, in Phoenix and Peoria and what I hadn't realized, I don't even remember the last time I went. I know my brother and my dad used to go to spring training a lot. But I didn't really, because Phoenix is very spread out. It's not like Vegas. Like, it's super spread out. So I hadn't realized that all the different Cactus Leagues games are played throughout the greater area. So you've got Scottsdale Fields, Peoria Fields, a bunch of other places. So because of COVID, you scan your ticket's only good for that stadium. So I go to the Mariners game, but I'm thinking, I'll try and grab some extra gear for a couple friends, like maybe your Dodgers, maybe the Giants for Tilly's foster mom, and just see what I could do. But when I asked, I was like, so is there no Giants gear here? She's like, well, no, this is just a stadium for the Mariners. This is the Mariners and the Padres home stadium.
Padres, yeah.
The Giants play in Scottsdale, but you can't even go there to access the stores there because you have to have the ticket to get in there. So COVID was very strict. There wasn't a lot of fans, but they were super spaced out. We actually had lawn tickets, and they had squares in the green grass to know where you were at with a label of the number of your square that you're in. Squares range in size for 2 people or 4 or 6 people. I mean, by the time the game started, Monday was beautiful. I got a little burn actually because I didn't realize it would be that warm. So note to self, inside the bathrooms, they actually do have a dispenser with sunscreen on it. Next time I'm going to use that. But I didn't because I wanted to get a little sun and get a tan. But it was good. I mean, it was nice to lay out there on the grass, on my blanket, watch baseball. Only thing is that what I do kind of miss, and I think is sad for the kids that are there, is that they don't have the opportunity to get autographs or to meet players because because of COVID, you can't do any of that. So it's kind of like you're watching from a distance and seeing how that goes. And of course, because I was there, they lost. But yesterday they went 13-0 against the Kansas City Royals and had amazing. They had like 3 or 4 home runs. That was pretty cool.
Good.
Yeah.
And was that your first time going to spring training out in Arizona?
I feel like I was there when I was younger, like when the years that I don't remember. But it's the first time that I actually remember being there and enjoying the game. So that was fun. I mean, but the only thing is that, there's not like full bars, there's not full food stands. It's kind of like a little bit here, a little bit there. But I mean, it was nice to go. It was nice to see live sports. I think the last live sport game that I saw was probably one of the Lights games right before they closed down the season.
Yeah.
So it was nice just to see, hearing cheers and hearing the announcer and hearing starting lineups and seeing fans and seeing people in their gear. Like it was great to be able to be part of that again.
That's good. That's really good. I'm so excited that baseball is coming back. Hey, Heather, I'm so excited that, hopefully, God willing, I can get to a Dodgers game possibly this season safely and get to see my boys in blue because loaded.
No, one thing I was going to say though, too, was just, hey, Les, one thing I was going to say though, is that I think I realized a new plan for my life is it did happen over our daylight savings time. And, Arizona doesn't change time.
Right.
So Arizona was an hour ahead of us when I got there, but when the time changed, they didn't change time. So I literally didn't lose an hour. I don't have that funky feeling of, it being like I've lost a whole hour of my life. Right. And it really made the transition smooth coming back home. So I feel like this should be like a yearly thing that I go to Phoenix on daylight savings weekend every year, because it really just makes it all, it's kind of like sleeping on a plane when you're going on a 5-hour trip across, time zones. Like you don't really miss it because it wasn't there. So
were there any Suns home games that weekend while you were there? Any Phoenix Suns?
No Suns. However, I think because it was so busy. Oh no, there was. When I got there Friday, the Suns were playing. They lost. I can't remember who they played to, but our hotel, we stayed at the Kipton, which is literally kitty corner to the arena there, so we got to see the let out and stuff. And it was cool to see, some of the bars there around nearby had people that were gathering, and they almost all have reservations, but I think that their capacity might be a little bit higher than Vegas. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
So that was good. And it was nice. And I know that NASCAR, I think, was there. So it was pretty busy. And from what the hotel manager said was that even though spring training had a lot less people coming, there was still a lot of people coming, that they were booked every weekend. So that's good for Phoenix, at least. Yeah.
Oh, good. Good times. Good times.
Yeah.
I'm glad you were able to get away.
Yeah. Oh, you're watching the Angels, right? Nice. Okay. And listen, Peoria is nice. And it's cool that they have their own little stadium, like it's on Mariners Way. So that was really cool. And I hadn't realized that they had named the street that the arena is on for the Suns and the Mercury. It's called Taurasi Way, which was pretty cool too. Yeah.
Nice. That's cute. That's cute.
It was good. I enjoyed that. A lot.
Very cute.
What else is happening? So spring training was good. I enjoyed it. I definitely would like to go to more, but I mean, tickets were hard to come by because I think season ticket holders got to get their dibs. I got resale tickets, but I'm not sure. I've heard that it was harder for other people to get in there. So I'm not sure. But then also it was Selection Sunday on Sunday. Selection Sunday we had on this past Sunday. Right. So all of our people, all the brackets are out. People are trying to get into the March Madness fever. I don't have it as much as I used to. I'm not feeling it this year.
No Duke, no Kentucky, no Louisville. This should be the better time for everybody to get into the brackets. But to your point, I'm not feeling it as well. I was telling my friend on the phone earlier, I said, I'm just not into it. I made no brackets this year. I didn't even download the NCAA app to put in my bracket picks and stuff. Because I think with the scheduling and the COVID and everything that went with it, it just seemed off to me. Like everything went off. And to me, what's a March Madness and tournament without a Duke team or Kentucky or Louis? Like,
so odd, right?
Yeah. but it gives an advantage and curiosity to see what's happened, you know?
Yeah. And even like Kansas, they were having COVID issues already. And there's so many, and like how they had like 6 or 7 referees that already had to get put out because of COVID and contact tracing. And they only allowed 60 referees to come into their little March Madness bubble. So who knows what this may transpire into as we go through. I mean, we've got the first 4 games on Thursday night, round 1, 2 kickoff Friday and Saturday, and we're off and running. So that's interesting. What's up, B Sal? Checking in. Yes. Our favorite guy from News 3.
Yes.
Well, yeah. We love Jesse too, but you know.
Yes, shout out to Jesse as well.
Yes.
B Sal in the chat.
Oh no, Heather. Well, I know Heather had a post. So if anybody's watching and they have some brackets they want filled out, Heather, I think I have one I can send to you. Our people over
that she can go on and get brackets.
Yeah, you can go to Yahoo too. Yahoo Sports.
Yeah, Yahoo has them. Yeah, and
Heather wants to make some money. She probably wants to make some money and beat some guys. I know that's right.
But Heather, also, if you do win some money, I would, if I were you, I would invest in PSLs for the Chargers. Because those PSL tickets are very inexpensive. I'm literally saying $300 down.
What? The PSL is?
PSLs for everybody. Go on the Chargers website. It's not good for the Rams, but it's good for the Chargers. Those PSL tickets, I have 2 coworkers that spent $2,000 for 2 seats in a section for the whole season of PSL with the Chargers. They're Charger fans.
Oh, at the SoFi Stadium.
Yeah, it's SoFi. So their tickets so cheap. They're cheap. The cheapest PSLs out there. They're still available. Heather, if I were you, I would dip into that and see what's good. Because you can go to a couple games. I know my Raiders are playing out there. Yes, pay brackets, please. Yeah, okay. But look into that for those PSLs for your team because you guys have Justin Herbert this season.
Yes.
We're able to get.
Yes, Brian Bessie is not
well,
you.
We know that.
But you guys are such a great duo that it just works
a good
out.
duo.
However, you watch the show and Jesse doesn't, so maybe you should tell him that.
Yeah. Good point too.
So PSL, what PSL takes under $1,000?
Yes, yes. Some of them in SoFi are up there, but I feel like that stadium, it shouldn't matter on the views.
But that stadium was like a whole community. Like they're gonna have shopping, living. Yeah, I mean,
you need to tap in. I can't believe you haven't tapped in yet. What kind of fan are you? I'm wondering. You guys got a whole new stadium over there.
I didn't know. She probably thought it'd be similar to the Raiders because the Raiders were crazy expensive.
That's because it's Vegas and it's on some BS. But here's the thing. LA has 2 teams and 2 markets, and they know the Rams is the top tier market. So therefore, you've got Chargers. But hey, if you get your PSLs now, and they actually do end up doing very fairly well in the AFC West and get into, you never know where it takes you. You've got these seats. I'm just saying. Because I'm thinking about maybe, they're very inexpensive. Like just to have some. And you can always sell them off. You can always do.
I say I'm gonna have to look into that for sure. I have to look into that. These sounds like in the green. Hey, Brian, is there gonna be some green socks on the sock cam tonight on the news? I'm just curious. Hopefully you've got green on it, or if not, I hope someone in the studio is pinching you for that.
He has that one all green suit.
Does he?
Yeah, I think he's gonna. He might end up wearing all of that.
What's up, Big Lex? Tuning in. Hey, I was out in their city, him and Strizzy, but I wasn't able to link up. But hopefully you guys are getting to enjoy some spring training as well. We appreciate the sport. We support you too, B-Sal.
Yeah. Or no?
What?
Have you watched this movie yet?
Watch what?
Have you watched Coming to America yet? Because we talked about Harry and Meghan, but we never talked about.
Oh, let's talk about it then.
Did you see the movie?
I did. I liked it.
Yeah, because I know I read quite a few dissertations and theses, and I feel like everybody got their Rotten Tomatoes movie critic card, including myself. But what were your thoughts on this movie?
So my thoughts were, here's the deal. I didn't go into it thinking it's going to be better than the first one. Mm-hmm. I didn't go into it thinking, oh my God, it's going to be. Here's the deal. We know that amazing movies usually are not followed up with a sequel that's just as amazing. Okay, we know that almost for a fact. But it doesn't happen unless you're like an Avengers or you're like a Marvel Comics type of thing. I also realized this is 30 years later. So the target audience may have changed a little bit. The comedy, the jokes, the puns may not be the same because 30 years ago, the 30-year-olds that were watching it are now 60. Maybe they're not watching it the same. You've got kids that are raised on coming to America from their parents that are watching it now and having to try and understand it and get the groove. Like I thought a lot of the dance sequences were a little more for like the younger age now. I really enjoyed just the cast almost as a whole all came back and look amazing. I love the barbershop scenes because the characters will never grow old. I didn't think it was going to be as great as the first one, but I enjoyed it and I'd probably watch it again.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
I wouldn't. I think if I would have had to pay like $50 to go to the theater, buy popcorn, do all that, maybe would have been a little more disappointed as far as like the cost of it. But watching it for free at home, enjoying it, getting some good laughs, I think I'd watch it again. Like I wasn't like,
wow,
I wasn't that taken back by it. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Huh. That's interesting.
And you?
Because I thought it sucked.
Yeah, I remember that.
I mean, I loved the celebration of Black excellence. Shout out to Ruth Carter, amazing costume designer. She did costume design for Black Panther. I loved how regal all the characters looked in it. I thought Wesley Snipes was probably the best acting in it. But my question, and I'm coming from Joe Button on this too, is who asked for this sequel? Who asked for it?
People are bored.
None of us asked for this. And Amazon got $100 million in a bidding war for this movie. Where'd the money go? I thought the lion looked a little cheap. I'm sorry. If you've got a good TV or projector out there with the 4K, it picks up everything. Yeah. I feel like Akeem's accent was off. I felt like it was unreal that they were only in America for maybe who flies off of a sketch, finds their son outside of, I can't even find my mom outside of the department store.
I mean, that's how he went and found his wife in, Queens and just,
but there was a long sequence of them being in America.
Right.
They were in Zamunda longer than America. And I know that we shouldn't look into the realism, and I wasn't expecting much from the movie. I personally thought the jokes fell flat. I felt like the barbers for the Mighty Sharp were too old to be living 30 years later because they were already relics back then, especially the Jewish guy played by Eddie Murphy. So that was
old men live forever.
That was a little unreal for me. And the thing of it is there are great sequels out there. Godfather 2 was superb to Godfather 1. Aliens was better than Alien. T2 was good like the Terminator. But again, you have The Dark Knight that was better than the Batman Return. You have movies that can do good body of work. And I'm just saying that this was so rushed in the storyline, the script, and everything. And I kind of was just like, wait a minute, what's going on? The music medleys didn't make any sense. So, I mean, James Earl Jones could have been in that whole movie the whole time and just been in bed if you didn't want to do it. But maybe he scripted was like, I'm going to check out on this early.
And I think a lot of the sequels don't usually wait 30 years to happen either.
They don't. And that's why I'm saying, who asked for this for us to have it? And if you're going to have it, just do better by it. I would have never expected to hear the word fleek in Zamunda.
Again, they're catering to a younger generation.
Honey, don't do that. Kenya Barris.
Well, I mean, then they were trying to put too much into, I mean, you could have made it a 3-hour movie. I would have been fine with it had made more of a storyline that progressed better.
$100 million you think you should have. You paid Rick Ross $2 million for his house to use for it, which was great. Thank you. But at the end of the day, it just fell flat. And then I thought I was going to pop up. You had so many celebrity cameos. I honestly thought I was going to pop up. And here's the other thing, too, is what I was tripping off of. You have Michael Blackson in a film, and he says not one funny thing. He's announcing Wesley Snipes. That's it? That's all we get? Yeah. I'm like, waiting. Michael Blackson, say something funny. Say something. Nothing. So to me, I just thought it kind of was a miss. It's not something I care to watch again. I feel like I need to undo what I saw, and people are like, don't publicly blast this. I'm not trying to publicly blast this, but I think we're better than that. I think we've been waiting. You've hyped this up so much for us. I didn't want it to be a dud.
Right. Well, we can't always believe the hype. That's the whole point of it.
You cannot. expect it to be better than the first, because we know classics never, you can't repeat classics. But you can also, you've got top comedians in here, Eddie. First of all, you didn't get Mike Epps, you didn't get Cat Williams, you didn't get Lil Duval to play a third generation of the Mighty Sharp Barbers. I bet you if they had walked in that barber shop and saw the three of them and they were the descendants of those guys, that would have been funny. But they didn't do. So I don't know if it was.
They need you on the writing team, Mo. Like, you should have been
the
there.
daughter could have gone to America looking for a guy. If Rotimi's coming off like a clown, why they didn't just say, "I want to go to America like my dad and see if I can do better"?
Yeah, I didn't like Rotimi in this either. It just
exactly. But the daughter was training to become queen, and the rules, because of these rules, she ended up getting it anyway. And I just thought the young guy that was the son was trash. Like, he wasn't funny. He was not. I would have kept him lost. Like, I don't know. Here's another one last thing.
Playing tickets at the Garden,
The Garden thing. Like, you can't even find your car at the end of the night at the Garden. You can't even find, like, come on.
The one thing that I didn't like was that, there's a McDowell's in the middle of Africa. Really? Is that what we're doing?
Everywhere. No parking.
No parking. It's not even in a city. It's just like it's your castle and a McDowell's.
Stop it. I know it's a movie and I know it's supposed to be lighthearted, and I didn't need to see En Vogue. I didn't need to see them do a tribute to my favorite purple one. Tiana looked amazing, don't get me wrong, but I was not expecting medleys through this thing.
And Salt and Pepper in there, like
Randy Watson looked like Rasputia from Norbit. That's what the makeup looked like to be on my TV. So here's my thing: don't do a part 3.
No.
Don't do a part 3.
Yeah.
Passing of the Sun was a total miss. Like, he could have stayed lost, like I said. You didn't have to. And then you look at a sketch to find. We're in 2020, and you're going off of a sketch drawing of finding. Yeah. There's people that still can't find their kids. Like, I don't understand. You lose a kid in the grocery store, you're losing him for quite a while. They literally got on a plane and found him like that.
That simple. It was that easy.
And then to do the sequence of the nightclub, you could tell the CGI and stuff over. Yeah,
that was too much.
And then you're celebrating a rape culture. Leslie Jones, let's be real. You basically drugged this guy and seduced him and had, like, come on. And I don't know if I'm just digging too deep in this, and maybe I am.
You probably were a little bit, but it's okay.
That's your opinion. Yeah. Go for it. You said you'd watch it. I personally wouldn't. I just know my funny. You know what I mean? So,
but here's me. I don't really watch a lot of movies over again. Like, if it's on TV, like if I'm sitting down, it's like on TNT in a year.
It's a good white noise.
Yeah,
it's a good white noise. And that's what I told my parents. Like, if they want to watch it, it's a good white noise. Play it in the background while you're doing laundry, cooking, whatever the case. If something pops up that catches you, then you're in. But yeah, it just was Michael Blackson. You have one of the best comedians. I can recite his line from Next Friday, but I can't recite a line from this one because he didn't say anything funny. Why would you have this comedian in your movie? You had no Chappelle. You didn't have any of these great ones come into. Please do not do Boomerang again. Please do not do.
Oh my God! Please do not.
Harlem Nights again. There's rumors that he's doing another Beverly Hills Cop. I'm very curious to see what that's going to be like.
That could be interesting. I don't know.
It's going to be very interesting. People things that are spanning out too far is just kind of crazy. And then I knew it was going to be some trash when they released it Thursday night instead of Friday night. I said, they're making this rush. They're trying to get us to get into it real soon. So I'm just going to turn it on and watch it. I watched and I just left it. I turned it off in silence. I sat there and I sighed.
You said I sighed.
and not to mention, I will say this, give up to, those of African cultures that live in Africa and stuff. They were really excited about this movie and the celebration of that singer at the end. What's his name? He sings with Black Coffee and stuff too. He's done some albums with him. He's dope. That's great. But at the end of the day, you could recite the lines if you want. You knew the quick, like, that boy good. I knew he was going to say that. I knew the guy was going to fall in love with the barber.
I knew it.
You knew how this whole scene was going to play out. Yeah, lead a guy lost. The kid died. I don't know the fun thing you're talking about. You're going off of an etch-a-sketch drawing trying to find a guy outside of scalping tickets at a doggone Madison Garden. You know how many people are outside of the garden? Like, how do you find them within seconds? Like, just what?
Just doing so much.
And everybody said on Jefferson Ave that I know my New York peeps are saying Jefferson Ave don't have no Fashion Nova on it. It looked like California. It didn't have any of that stuff. So, come on.
I'm like, do Fashion Nova, they actually have stores?
Yeah, Queen's looking like Melrose.
Oh my
no
God.
Daryl, no Patrice. Like I would have loved to have seen.
Yeah, I'm mad about that. I really wanted to see Daryl. So
yeah, Eric LaSalle, are you like, where are you at? And I read
like no
something.
invite. Like what's up with that?
The lady that plays Patrice, I think she kind of went into hiding. She doesn't really do social media or anything. I think she kind of went away from the acting, so maybe that's why. They could have at least brought Daryl back. I would have liked to have seen Eric.
Done something. Jeez, my goodness. I don't know, but that's. Yeah, so mixed reviews. I was glad. I still want to watch it. I think anyone should still watch it where they want to and see what they take from it. But you know, being as one person who was alive and around and watched the first one when it came out, it was nice to see that. But I mean, don't wait 30 years to make sequels, y'all. Like this should have been done after 10 or 20, but 30 is just.
First of all, Arsenio said in an interview a long time ago that they vowed they weren't going to do a sequel. So I don't know what happened to double that back.
Something must have changed. Someone must be near bankruptcy and needed some cash.
Don't do a part 3 though. Don't do a part
3. He said they needed a Prince of Soul Glow.
Yeah. They needed something. I was 13 years old when I went to the drive-in. Literally, shout out to North Las Vegas Drive-In over there on Rancho,
which is still here. Yes,
watching Coming to America. I will never forget it. And to this day, it is still one of those Black cult classic movies, or just cult classics in general, that I like, along with Trading Places and Harlem Nights and Boomerang and Golden Child and all of the early
Golden Child. Yeah.
Don't make a part 3. That's all I'm going to say. And I didn't ask for this one either. It's cool that you wanted to do it and you have these celebrities, but it just fell flat. It just was no oomph to it for me. It wasn't enough.
Yeah. Not the business.
Yeah.
Before we do go, because we're over an hour now, wrapping it up. But we've had a great time. This is what we just need to have sometimes, just you and me time, because I feel like when we get guests on, we get distracted from the actual sports news and having just good conversation too. So we do have more guests lined up for the rest of the month. So make sure you stay tuned. Yeah. What is this cover of Sports Illustrated? Because I want to use that as a girl power.
And I'm just gonna have to tag off for a second, but you can still hear. Right?
I can hear you. Yep.
So Lena Bloom becomes the first Black trans woman in Sports Illustrated swimsuit issue.
Girl power.
And she's gorgeous. She is Black and Filipino, and she wanted to use her appearance in a highly anticipated issue as a platform for activism and highlight trans representation.
Wow. So well, that's good. Maybe you can post that in our story or something for Instagram. So
yeah. Where I lost you, I think. Hold on.
Are you there?
No, I'm here. Yeah.
But I also wanted to just shout out real quick to the WNBA because this is their 25th season. So they've started a new campaign called Count It, and it actually has a really great video that I'm going to post. I finally found it, located it, so I want to post that on our Instagram. But they're going to have a new logo, a new basketball, and uniforms to celebrate, part of the celebration. Yes. And our girl Liz is officially coming back to Vegas to the Aces. So let's get this championship, please.
We season. I'm banking they will be the first team in this Vegas city to have a championship. And
that will be girl power like nothing else. So if you're around in Vegas, or if you need me to make a little bookie bet for you, we're putting it down on Vegas to win the championship this year for the WNBA. Yeah. So yeah. Once again, thank you to our sponsor, Box Out. We appreciate you. We appreciate all of you that have commented and chimed in. We can't wait to see everybody's green. So tag us in some green that you were wearing. Yes, Natalie, I know we cannot wait for the Aces. Yes. I'm not even going to put her other comment on here because
it already popped up. That's her girl, Liz. You know, we all know she.
Oh no, not that one. There's one after that.
Oh.
Thanks, Nat. But anyways, you guys, we love y'all. We'll be back here next Wednesday. Yes. Make sure to tune in, share, subscribe, like us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Make sure you share and share alike. And we will catch you all again next week. So
yeah, sounds good.
That's it. We appreciate y'all. Have a good one.
Yes.